Have you ever wondered what awaits you beyond the horizon of your 70s? With each passing year, time seems to acquire a special value, and the body begins to send subtle signals about how much time it has left. Some people are full of energy and strength even at 70, while others begin to feel the burden of age, facing ailments and fatigue. What is the secret to longevity? It turns out that there are certain signs, those very beacons, that can slightly open the veil of the future. This narrative will examine 7 key indicators that can predict how long you can stay active and healthy after 70. These are not just conjectures or folk omens, but patterns identified by scientists and doctors studying the lives of long livers. Get ready to learn what to pay attention to in your body and lifestyle. Most importantly, you will learn what steps you can take today to increase your chances of a long and happy life. Don't miss a single detail, because the most interesting is ahead. The first indicator of longevity lies in the ability to maintain balance on one leg. Most people don't think about the importance of balance until they start to lose it. However, the ability to stand on one leg for at least 10 seconds is a powerful predictor of life expectancy. Scientists have found that people who have difficulty with balance are more prone to falls, injuries, and even cognitive disorders. Conversely, those who maintain stability at age 70 and older tend to live longer and have good health. Consider the example of 2 women, Carol and Nancy, both just over 70 years old. Carol has always led an active lifestyle. She walks every day, does yoga, and can easily lift one leg off the ground for a few seconds without losing her balance. Nancy, on the other hand, has not paid enough attention to developing balance for many years. When she tries to stand on one leg, she immediately starts to wobble, and she has to grab something to hold on. Nancy doesn't realize that. This loss of balance is not just an annoying inconvenience, but a worrying sign of possible deterioration in coordination, muscle strength, and even cognitive function. Maintaining stability and balance in the human body is a complex process that depends on a number of factors, among which strong legs, the coordinated work of the nervous system, and, of course, a healthy brain occupy a special place. If you suddenly start stumbling more often, feel insecure during sudden turns, or need to hold onto walls or furniture to maintain balance, this is a clear signal to act. It is important to note that balance is a skill that can be trained and improved. There are simple exercises that can help restore stability. For example, daily practice of standing on one leg for a few seconds, walking heel to toe, or practicing Tai Chi can have a beneficial effect. Right now, you can do a small test. Stand up and lift one leg off the ground. If you have difficulty maintaining balance for 10 seconds, this is not a cause for panic, but you should not ignore this fact either. Regular training aimed at improving balance can significantly strengthen the body and increase stability in the future. Another important indicator of health is grip strength. Surprisingly, the strength of a handshake can tell you more about a person's prospects than it seems at first glance. Numerous studies show that grip strength is one of the most accurate indicators of overall vitality, especially in older people. A strong and confident grip indicates developed muscles, good blood circulation, and a properly functioning nervous system. On the other hand, a decrease in grip strength can serve as a warning sign, foreshadowing loss of muscle mass, general weakness, and even increased vulnerability to various diseases. Consider 2 illustrative examples. Robert, a man of 78, has always been known for his strong handshake. He led an active lifestyle, exercised regularly, and easily coped with everyday tasks such as opening cans and carrying weights. In contrast, Walter, also 78, began to notice that simple actions, such as unscrewing a bottle cap or holding a heavy bag, became an impossible task for him. He tended to explain this by inevitable age-related changes, but his weakening grip actually indicated a progressive loss of muscle mass, which could increase his susceptibility to falls, injuries, and even a reduced lifespan. Hands are essentially a mirror of the overall condition of the muscles. If your grip strength decreases, it is very likely that similar processes are occurring in the rest of your body. The more muscle strength you lose, the harder it becomes to maintain independence, activity, and resilience. The good news is that lost strength can be regained. Simple exercises, including squeezing a tennis ball, using a hand gripper, or lifting small weights, can support the strength of your grip and strengthen the corresponding muscles. So, don't neglect a minute to assess your grip strength. If your handshake feels less confident than before, or if everyday tasks start to become difficult, don't ignore it. Your ability to hold objects today can be a predictor of how strongly you will hold on to life in the years to come. The third sign of longevity lies in your walking speed. One of the most telling indicators of how long you can stay active after 70 is not hidden in your genetic code, medical record, or even diet. It lies in a much simpler aspect, your walking speed. Studies convincingly demonstrate that people who maintain a brisk and steady walking pace at the age of 70 and older tend to live longer than those who slow down significantly. Speed of movement is directly related to overall health, muscle strength, cardiovascular efficiency, and even cognitive brain functions. Consider the example of two men, Joe and Frank, who are both 75 years old. Joe goes for a walk every morning, maintaining a steady pace, and has no difficulty crossing the street or climbing stairs. His movements are smooth, balanced, and confident. Frank has seen a significant decrease in activity lately. He finds it difficult to keep up with others, has to stop frequently to rest, and sometimes feels unsteady when walking. While Joe's brisk pace indicates the good condition of his body, Frank's slowdown may be a warning sign of impending health problems. A slow and unsteady gait is not simply an inevitable companion of aging. It can indicate underlying ailments, such as weakening muscle tissue, circulatory disorders, or even the initial stages of neurological disorders. A person's legs are their support, and when that support becomes less reliable, the body's overall stability also decreases. However, there is good news. Walking speed is an indicator that can be improved. The more a person moves, the stronger they remain. If you notice that your pace is slowing down, don't ignore it. Start taking small but systematic efforts to strengthen your body. Increase the number of walks, use light weights, or do simple exercises to strengthen your legs. Ultimately, a person's speed of movement through life can tell you a lot about how long they can continue to move in principle. Therefore, it is worth paying close attention to your pace. It may be the easiest way to assess the length of your life. The fourth indicator of longevity lies in the characteristics of nighttime rest. Sleep quality serves as a kind of barometer reflecting potential life expectancy. Sleep is not just a period of inactivity, but a vital regeneration process during which the body recovers, strengthens its defenses, and eliminates accumulated harmful substances in the brain. Scientific studies convincingly prove that people over 70 who have regular and complete sleep tend to enjoy a longer and healthier life. Conversely, those who face poor sleep problems are at increased risk of cognitive decline, cardiovascular disease, and weakened immune systems. To illustrate this relationship, consider the example of two men, Sam and Graham, who are approaching 75 years of age. Sam strictly adheres to a sleep schedule, going to bed at the same time and enjoying about 7 hours of restful sleep, waking up refreshed and full of energy. Graham, on the other hand, suffers from restless sleep, often tossing and turning, waking up several times a night, and sometimes having trouble falling asleep. Over time, Sam's body continues to function optimally, his mind remains clear, and his energy levels are stable. Graham, on the other hand, begins to experience cognitive discomfort, daytime fatigue, and even fluctuations in blood pressure, which is a direct result of the deterioration in the quality of his sleep. Sleepless nights, Difficulty falling asleep or feeling broken even after a long stay in bed are not just annoying inconveniences, but persistent signals that the body sends. Sleep disturbances can be caused by a variety of factors ranging from everyday stress to unhealthy diets, lack of physical activity, and even underlying conditions such as sleep apnea. However, there's no need to despair, as sleep quality can be improved. Making simple adjustments to your lifestyle, such as limiting gadget use before bed, establishing a regular sleep-wake schedule, getting morning sunlight, and avoiding heavy meals in the evening, can dramatically change the situation. Sleep is not just an opportunity to feel rested. It is a vital process that ensures the optimal functioning of all body systems and mental clarity. Therefore, it is worth paying close attention to your sleep. If every morning starts with a feeling of fatigue, if falling asleep turns into a painful process, or if the nature of your sleep has changed recently, action must be taken. After all, your health and vitality in the future directly depend on how well you rest today. The fifth important indicator of longevity lies in a person's appetite and food preferences. Diet after the age of 70 becomes one of the most convincing predictors of lifespan. An undiminished interest in food and a well-balanced menu serve as a reliable support for physical strength, ensure the stability of the immune system, and maintain a high level of vitality. Conversely, a sudden loss of appetite or neglect of healthy eating principles can be symptoms of hidden ailments and even provoke premature aging. As a vivid illustration, consider the fates of two women, Margaret and Susan, both of whom are 74 years old. Margaret, a true connoisseur of delicious and healthy food, prefers a variety of fresh products while maintaining a stable weight. Cooking gives her true pleasure, and she remains cheerful throughout the day. Susan, on the other hand, notes a decrease in her appetite. She increasingly skips meals, relying on convenience foods, and has unintentionally lost weight over the past year. However, she does not realize that the weakening of appetite is not just a minor change in her life, but a worrying sign indicating a possible disruption in the absorption of nutrients by the body. This condition can lead to weakened muscle tissue, slowed metabolism, and even negatively affect the immune system. Loss of appetite in old age often signals hidden ailments, whether it's disruptions in the digestive system, hormonal changes in the body, or even the first harbingers of weakening cognitive functions. When food intake becomes insufficient, the body begins to draw resources from muscle tissue, which is fraught with general weakness, increased bone fragility, and, as a result, an increased risk of falls and the development of various diseases. In the event that there are any changes in eating habits, whether it's rapid satiety, loss of interest in food, or unexpected weight loss, it is extremely important not to stand aside. Properly organized nutrition after 70 is not just about satisfying hunger, but about providing the body with the nutrients necessary for full functioning. Priority should be given to whole, nutrient-rich foods. It is important to maintain optimal water balance and in no case ignore the decrease in appetite. Perhaps this is a kind of signal from the body that requires close attention. Therefore, it is worth asking yourself, does food still bring pleasure? Does the body get enough protein, fiber, and healthy fats to maintain proper shape? Or is there a decrease in appetite and vitality? Diet today is a direct path to strength of mind and independence in old age. The sixth sign of longevity is the ability to resist stress. How a person copes with life's difficulties after the age of 70 is an important indicator of their lifespan. Constant stress has a negative impact not only on emotional state, but also on the immune system, increases the risk of cardiovascular diseases, and accelerates the aging process. At the same time, people who are able to effectively cope with stressful situations usually maintain health, activity, and mental clarity until old age. As an example, we can cite the stories of John and Richard, who are 76 years old. John, like everyone else, faces life's troubles, unforeseen expenses, health problems, family worries. However, he has learned to meet them with equanimity and resilience. He practices deep breathing, maintains an active social life, and does not allow himself to dwell on problems longer than necessary. Richard, on the other hand, tends to accumulate stress. He constantly worries about things he can't control, takes small setbacks hard, and often gets caught up in negative thoughts. Over time, this constant tension wears out his body, leading to higher blood pressure, poor sleep, and decreased energy levels. Chronic stress is a scourge of modern times, triggering inflammatory processes in the body, which in turn are closely linked to the development of almost all age-related diseases, from insidious Alzheimer's disease to dangerous cardiovascular pathologies. If you regularly feel tense, irritable, or emotionally drained, you should never ignore these alarming signals. Actively seeking effective ways to cope with stress, whether it's mindfulness practices, regular physical exercise, deep breathing techniques, or even healing laughter, can give you many years of fulfilling life. Ask yourself an important question. When difficulties arise, do you show flexibility and move forward, or do you cling to anxious thoughts and allow stress to take over? Your ability to remain calm, find rational solutions, and focus on the aspects that are within your control has a beneficial effect not only on your mental state, but is also a key factor determining the length and quality of your life. The seventh important sign of longevity is your social connections. The strength and depth of your relationships with others can serve as one of the most accurate indicators of how long you can remain active and healthy after reaching the age of 70. Numerous studies convincingly demonstrate that people with strong social connections, be it strong friendships, close family ties, or active participation in public life, tend to live longer and maintain good health for many years. Isolation, in turn, opens the door to serious health threats, such as heart disease, deep depression, decreased mental abilities, and, unfortunately, even premature death. To illustrate this, let's imagine two ladies, Eleanor and Barbara, both 78 years old. Eleanor is the life of the party. Her days are filled with communication and activity. She cherishes friendships, is a regular member of a book club, and adores spending time with her family. Every conversation brings her joy. Laughter sounds in her life, and she feels part of a big world. Barbara, on the other hand, is immersed in loneliness. Connections with friends have weakened over the years, and although she has relatives, she rarely seeks their company. Months of solitude affect her mood, which becomes increasingly depressed, and her overall health begins to deteriorate. Human interaction is not just a source of emotional support, it directly affects our physical condition. By interacting with others, we stimulate brain function, reduce stress levels, and promote the production of substances necessary for maintaining health and well-being. Noticing that you are refusing to participate in social life, avoiding phone calls, or preferring solitary pastimes, you should immediately take action. Maintaining social connections does not require constant presence in the company of people. Even small steps, such as restoring contact with an old friend, joining a group with common interests, or cultivating deep conversations, can have a significant impact. After all, the relationships that a person builds today not only enrich their life with joy, but also contribute to maintaining health and increasing life expectancy in the future. Having recognized these signs, it is worth taking time for self-analysis and assessing your current state. Are you moving through life with energy and confidence, or are you noticing subtle changes that may serve as a warning? The optimistic fact is that most of these factors, including walking speed, grip strength, sense of balance, sleep quality, eating habits, stress level, and social connections, can be improved. A person's fate is not predetermined, and the decisions they make today can have a huge impact on the number of years of life ahead. You shouldn't postpone taking care of yourself after learning about the need for improvements in your health. You don't have to wait for a doctor's urgent recommendations to start acting. It is important to immediately begin positive changes in your life. Regular walks in the fresh air, exercises to strengthen the muscular corset, prioritized and complete sleep, maintaining active social connections, and finding effective ways to manage stress should become an integral part of your daily routine. The pursuit of longevity should not be an end in itself. It is much more important to enrich each day lived, filling it with vivid impressions and positive emotions. Indeed, true longevity lies not only in the number of years lived, but also in the quality of life one enjoys throughout their entire journey.